In this exercise, we're going to explore some of Illustrator's tools that allow you to draw some more complex shapes. In order to get started, let's jump into Adobe Illustrator, go up to File, and create a new document. As we've done before, the size of our document is going to be a traditional letter size, so 8.5 inches wide by 11 inches tall. You can name this our complex shapes. You can put your name as the post title as well. Everything else will be exactly the same, and we can say create. The first thing we need to do is to place our image inside of here as a template layer. Let's go up to File, down to Place. Let's locate the complex PNG from your Shapes folder and make sure Template is checked on. With this done, we can hit Place. Remember, this brings it in as a large image, and you may need to zoom out to see the whole thing. Go over to your Layers panel and unlock the template layer that was created. From here, you can hold the Shift key as you click on any corner or edge and drag it downward to resize it and to replace it within the center of your document. Once that's done, you can go back to your Layers panel and lock down that layer. And let's work on layer 1. I'm going to rename this our Logo 1 layer. Finally, before we start to work, let's go up to File and save our document. Just remember where you save your document to. I've got mine inside of my Logo Unit folder, and we're going to keep it as an Illustrator file. Click Save, and we'll say OK to these options. Let's zoom into this crown logo up here at the top. We're going to redraw this logo. It's obviously made up of some thick lines, so the easiest way to draw off point-by-point lines will be to use our pen tool. If you look at the top of your toolbox, you can see the pen tool looks like an old-fashioned writing pen. The keyboard shortcut is P. Do be aware there's some other similar looking pen tools that do some different things. We just want the traditional regular pen tool. Now, before we begin with this tool, let's go over to our Properties panel. Let's set our fill color to be none and our stroke color to be red. Now, the easiest way to use the pen tool is by making straight lines that we see here. I'm going to do this by clicking in the center of the line, right here at the starting point or the edge or corner of one of these. And then when I let go, I can move my mouse around and you get a little preview of where the line is going to. Let's bring it down to the other edge and then back up. Even though I know it's broken, we're going to treat this as a solid line for now. So I'm going to each individual corner and redrawing the part. You can use your smart guides to help align everything. And then finally, when we're done, we'll go back to our original starting point, and you can see how it highlights the anchor and has a little circle next to my icon, and that will complete the entire line. With it still selected, you can use your selection tool, and we can also go over to our properties, and let's make it just a little bit bigger, but maybe not all the way. I still want to see the different parts of this so I know where to trim them off or to cut them. If you ever need to cut into a line or otherwise shorten the length of something you've drawn, the scissors tool is what we're going to use. Scissors is found towards the middle of your toolbox, and it may be hiding underneath your eraser tool. Keyboard shortcut is C. With the scissors tool, you can carefully hover over your path, and the path should highlight. You can kind of barely see it, but the word path shows up. With one click, it's going to add a broken anchor point right there. Think of it as cutting a rubber band. Let's go down to this part and click one more time. Now that it's clicked, you can see I've got this broken piece in the middle. To get rid of it, let's choose our black arrow selection tool. Carefully click on the path on the inside and then hit the delete key to delete it away. Let's do the same on this other side. Grab your scissors tool, Click once, hovering over the anchor point of the path. That'll cut it there. And then once again, let's click here and cut the anchor point there. You can see that it starts to deselect one side of this, and that's okay if yours is different. We'll go up to our black arrow selection tool, click on the part that we want to cut away, and hit delete to delete it. Now let's make our line even thicker. With our black arrow selection tool still selected, we can click on this part, hold the Shift key as you click on the other part, and that'll add on to both of the selections. Next, we can go over to our stroke size, and let's make it thick enough to match our image. If yours is off by just a little bit, remember, that's okay for what we're doing. The main thing is I want you to know how to use the pen tool to draw the straight edges and the scissors tool to be able to cut them. Let's get this bottom portion done as well. We can choose the pen tool. This time, let's click on this edge and draw straight across. If you hold the Shift key, it'll constrain your line to be a horizontal line going all the way across. We do have a little bit of a problem though. First, let's deselect it. You can select the selection tool to do that. We want these edges to be kind of angled inward to match the angle of what's up above it. To do this, however, we need to convert this line into a filled object. Right now it's just a single line with a stroke. So with it selected, go up to Object, down to the Path and hover over Path, and tell it to outline the stroke. Check out what we've got now. We no longer have a solid stroke, we've got a filled in shape area. Now we can use our white arrow direct selection tool. You may have to zoom in to do this part, but click on the bottom corner piece, and I'm going to use my arrow keys on my keyboard to nudge it into place. Let's zoom over to the other side. Select this corner by clicking once, and then use your arrow to just nudge it into place as well too. Finally, if you want to, you can use your black arrow selection tool, and you can select the parts that are on top of here by holding the Shift key, and we can outline their stroke as well. Go up to Object, down to Path, and tell it to outline the stroke. That will turn those into solid fill colors. Hold the Shift key and get all three pieces selected. You can then group them together by going to Object and down to Group. With this one done, let's go to our Layers panel. We can lock down Logo 1. Then at the bottom of your Layers panel, let's click on the little plus sign to create a new layer on top. And let's call this Logo number 2. Sliding over to here. This obviously is made up of a semicircle and some semicircles for the eyes and the mouth, as well as a variety of different complex circular and rectangular shapes over on this side. So we need to be able to take this object and be able to really customize it using multiple different shapes. Let's start by drawing off a big circle that matches the half of this one. Go over to your toolbox and choose the Ellipse tool. Let's also go to our Properties panel and let's work with just a stroke. So I'm going to set my fill to none and my stroke to red. Remember, you can hold down the Option key as you click and drag, and the Shift key to keep it a perfect circle. Additionally, you can hold the space bar and move it around and let go of the space bar to commit. So on the fly, you can easily move it, and I'm looking at that left edge until it's nice and stuck right there. If necessary, you can use your black arrow selection tool to hold Shift as you readjust the size of it and move it into position. As long as this left side is aligned nicely, that's what we're looking for. We need to delete away the right side of this. So I'm going to use my direct selection white arrow tool. Carefully click just on this anchor point, so only this anchor point is selected, and press the delete key. You can now see you're left with half of a circle. Now let's rough in all of these other lines and shapes. Let's go up and grab our pen tool. I'm going to zoom into this top portion so we can see it a bit better. Hover over the end of this top portion of your circle and click once. This will give you a starting point for a new line. You can hold the Shift key and it will keep everything constrained proportionally. And I'm simply going to go all the way out until it's squared off with the edge, and then go down until it's squared off with the bottom portion here. So I'm not trying to round it off just yet. Later on we'll come back and we'll add the rounded bits. But you can see all I'm doing is I'm clicking each time to add a point to where I want each of the little sticky out bits to be. If yours is off by a little bit, don't worry. You can either do Command Z to undo, or later on we'll go back and we'll make adjustments to it. Holding Shift, click, click, and click. Eventually you'll reach the bottom point, and this is where you can hover over that last anchor point and click to resolve it. Now if you do need to make any corrections, you can use your white arrow direct selection tool. You can click on away from it first to deselect it. Then you can click on any line and drag it to make it longer or shorter as needed. So clicking on the line gets both of those points. Click carefully just on the line and get both of those points. Once you're satisfied with the position of all of these, now we can actually round off the edges. Make sure your live corner widget is turned on by going up to here and choose Show Corner Widget, or it should say Hide Corner Widget since it's now showing. So this is okay if you see Hide Corner Widget. Next, you can select the two anchor points up here by clicking and dragging, and then click on their anchor points or their widget points to curve it off. Let's do the same for this one. Click and drag over this one, and then drag to connect both of those. Repeat this process for each of the different lines that are sticking out of this character. Click and drag over to select both of them, and then click down to select it. Click and drag over, and then bring it in, and click and drag for the next one. You can see all we're doing is repeating that same step over and over again. Finally, when you reach the last one, which will be down here, this last piece, you can click and drag and merge both of those as well. Now when we zoom back out and see the entire piece, you can select it. If you want to see what that looks like filled in, we can swap out the fill and stroke to get this idea. However, for now, one last time, I'm going to put it back so I can see the inside for the eye and the mouth. The eye is made up of two ellipses, one large one and then one small one that's cut away from it. So let's grab our ellipse tool. We can click and drag and hold the Shift key to get a perfect circle. And if necessary, you can hold the space bar down to move it into place till it's right there. Then let's draw a smaller circle for the little iris. So click and drag, and again, hold the space bar to move it around, and then let go of the space bar until it's into position. You can see how both of the circles are overlapping one another. Now, use your black arrow selection tool to select both of the small inner circles. In order to cut away the topmost circle, the second circle that we drew, go over to your Properties panel and go down to the Pathfinder section. Pathfinder allows you to combine multiple shapes in different ways. We want to use this second option to minus the front. When you choose it, notice that it cuts away part of the circle and keeps the other part that's overlapping it. Let's do the same for the mouth. Grab your ellipse tool, click and drag. You may have to hold the Shift key and also the space bar until you move it roughly into place, and I'm looking at this right edge until that roughly aligns with the alignment on our sketch. If necessary, after you let go, you can use your black arrow selection tool to make any minor adjustments, and it's okay if it's not a perfect circle. Let's grab our ellipse tool and let's do the top portion of this lip. Again, click and drag. Use your spacebar to move it into place until you roughly get it into place. Now for this one, we want to use our black arrow selection tool to select both of the circles we created as well as the larger portion of the body. So all three of these things are now selected. We want to be able to cut away any unnecessary parts and keep this opening inside of the mouth. The tool we're going to use to do this is known as the Shape Builder tool. Shape Builder is found underneath your scissors, and it looks like this tool here. With the Shape Builder tool, this allows you to combine multiple shapes together by clicking and dragging, or if you hold the Option key, if you're on a Mac, or the Alt key if you're on a Windows, you can erase away parts. So in my case, I'm holding down the Option key and getting rid of these lines because they overlap, and I'll also get rid of these lines. These lines as well. Let's make sure to just click on the line and not just the shape. Now we've got it, and we've got this whole shape. I'll zoom back out, and let's zoom back in to finalize this shape. Now let's select all the parts. Choose your black arrow selection tool. You can click and drag over everything until the eye and the mouth and the body are all selected. And let's combine this into one final piece. We want the eye to be cut out of the body, so let's go up to Object. Down at the very bottom, we're going to make a compound path. Choose Make. It looks like nothing happened, but this is combining all of these shapes together. And when we swap out our fill and our stroke color, you can see how it fills in that shape inside of everything else. Now we can go up to our Layers panel and lock down Logo Layer 2. And let's make a final layer for Logo Layer 3.